Welcome to another episode of Millennials to Millionaires.
Before we get started, we got something very, very special for you guys.
Extremely special.
If you look in the description below, we have a free, I repeat, free real estate investor's guide. Make sure you click the link in the description and get access to it right away.
Remember, it's free.
Now, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Welcome back to Millennials to Millionaires. I'm your boy, Daniel, King Sold.
And I'm David, Twee Estate.
All right, and very rarely can we say that we have the king of Atlanta. I think I can call you that. Mr. Him 500 himself. Welcome to the six, my brother.
Man, welcome. I appreciate you having me.
So this is your first time in the city?
First time. Can't be the last, but definitely first time.
What are your first impressions?
The culture, I didn't know.
Is this rich?
First, I didn't know the West Indians was this strong here. I had the best jerk chicken I ever had in my life.
Where did you go?
What spot?
Went to Miss Littlemore's?
We went there.
Okay.
We went to Chubby's.
Okay, yeah.
And I had another spot that...
Like a local spot.
I gave these guys a full itinerary, so like... Yeah. Before you even touch down, we hit up all those spots. Like we there on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's been next level. So the love has been real.
All right, man. So listen, let's get started. Let's jump right into it.
Let's get it.
Your name, Him 500.
Yeah.
Where you get it from? How it start? Talk to me about it.
He's him.
Yeah.
He's him.
I feel like I'm him.
Yeah.
So as myself is that I always felt like I'm the best version of myself. I'm always him. Like I'm him. And then the 500 came from Fortune 500 elite. Like I always would see the top business in the world. You got to make Fortune 500. Mm-hmm. And so that 500 number always stuck out to me. Made it Him 500. It started on MySpace.
Okay.
And then it went to Twitter, Instagram. The brand blew up. And at first it was just a handle. I wish I could have made it like, it was something I thought of on I literally made it as a kid. Self-made. I made the name up. It wasn't, I made it up and it just stuck with me.
I hope you trademarked that already.
Of course, own it.
So before the blazers, the suits, the bust downs, what was Him 500 like? Like what was it like growing up?
I was always blazers and bust downs and chains and cars. It was forever.
You're always him.
I've always been him. Yeah. You can go back. I can show you a picture of me in 7th grade. I had a watch on and a chain on.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I thought it was tucked in.
Yeah.
Watch on and a chain on. I've always been me.
So at 7th grade.
7th grade.
At 7th grade, how were you getting the paper to even get that?
My mom, blessed. My mom is one of the ones that exposed me to life. We didn't have the most 7th grade. It wasn't a real chain. I didn't get a real chain till my 16th birthday.
Okay.
It was a fake chain,
Of course.
I'm not gonna hold
Middle
it like
of the mall.
Yeah. So, but this is it was just a part of who I was. But at the same time. And at 4th grade, 5th grade, like my mom held community events and I would speak for like the DARE program and things like that. So I'll be in the front of the newspaper speaking out about her initiatives and the things that she did in the community. So I've always been, it's not like I was wearing a chain and a watch as like I'm a drug dealer or I'm a rapper. It's just always been my persona and just who I am and how my style.
Yes, authentically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just things that I've always been into. 18 at the same time, I got pictures at 18 standing in front of a Charger with my chain on and my watch on. And the next picture is my headshot for my real estate license. I've always been like, I look urban. When I go outside, I want to go hang out with my friends. I'm there. But at the same time, I still have a aspect of maturity and, my respect when I get dressed and I need to go handle business. Mm-hmm. I got that side too.
So you got your real estate license at 18, right?
At 18.
And before that, you had a telemarketing business.
And I had a telemarketing job. Yeah,
okay.
Yep. I had
so
a telemarketing
so how
job.
long did the real estate license last?
I graduated 06. 2006, I got my real estate license. remember getting a $14,000 check. I remember saying, yo, I'm gonna retire by 30. I'm done.
Yeah,
So,
that's my goal too.
yeah.
I got 1 year left to do it. I'm 29 right now, so I'm working hard right now.
How's it looking?
Bro, listen, I thought it would be done by 30. In 2006, from looking at 2004, 2002, I see your life is set. I got the path. I got the vision. It's over.
It's done.
One thing you could never project is 2008.
Yeah.
So I had a good year run of like, man, I can really do this. Like, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Things happen. 2008 happens.
Recession.
Yeah.
That's what birthed Recession Proof. I realized that I had all my goals lined up, and 2008 happened. And what I realized is that my life didn't stop. The market in which I knew and what I thought was life crashed, burned. People I sold houses to, I'm now doing loan modifications for.
Oh, man.
So you imagine how pissed they are.
Yeah.
Like,
And you look like the bad guy too, right?
Yeah.
but I'm an 18-year-old kid at that.
So
So,
what do
now
you
I'm
expect from
extra.
me?
Like, I gave you a chance.
Yeah.
And I knew I shouldn't have did this.
Oh,
and
man.
they like, yo, because they was believing in me as like, let me give this kid a chance, an opportunity. So I'm working under a broker. So he's like, you know, I'm here. He's stepping in now, but he's catching the slack. Like, and they looking at it like it was my fault. And I'm like, I was just,
It's like it's happening.
Servicing
It's
the
happening
market.
everywhere in the world. Like, what do you want from me?
yeah. So at that point though, I realized life doesn't stop. I ended up shifting, moving to Atlanta, doing different things, different businesses. And that's when I say I'm recession proof, is because you got to be able to make money in any economic times. You can't allow things in the outside to, you know, actually have an effect on your livelihood. And so I learned at that point, like everything is my fault and everything gonna be based off my approach.
Regardless.
And that's what kind of birth.
That's so key, brother. So since we jumped into recession proof, talk to me about what a recession proof mindset is like.
A recession proof mindset, I can say, is that the ability to think longer, deeper, and more thoroughly through everything that you're involved with, especially when it comes to finances. A lot of times we get in a business and I tell people you got 4 roadblocks that you got to overcome. And the 4 things that happen in business that we got to overcome. 1, you should make money 4 ways off of any situation.
Okay.
So you got to look at like at least 3 to 4 benefits. But along those benefits is things you have to overcome. The first one we got to overcome is when we're in business and we make money, what do? If I got a business and I sell champagne, when I sell a bottle of champagne, if the champagne cost me $20 and I sold it for $100, I think I made $80. Biggest mistake. Why? Because that $80, people think that this is mine. The biggest mistake is realizing that that's not your money, it's the business's money. So when then you look at then how do I reinvest into my business? When you go into a recession-proof mindset, for me, I leverage credit, turn credit to cash. I go out, I'll use a credit card to run advertisement, grow my awareness, make money. 1 month, I spent $100,000 in advertisement. I made $875,000.
Same month?
Same month. Average person looks and say, I made $700,000. They will say, I made $700,000. I'm gonna spend $200,000 shopping, celebrating.
yeah.
Now they got $500. Then you owe out of $700,000, you're gonna owe about another $180 to $230 in taxes. So now you got
$300,000 left.
So now, at that point, you got $300,000, $400,000 left. Well, the recession-proof mindset is that my business made $700,000. I'm not going to spend the money. I'm going to spend it, but I'm going to go buy real estate that's going to actually help me generate income. Why? Because now the money is going to make another investment and continuously grow. So now that $1 million that I made at this point now goes, say I spent $350. Now my business went and spent the $350. I didn't lose the money.
It's accounted for.
And my taxes gets deferred. So now my 1 million now is 1.3 because I spent the money to acquire a property that I still have the asset. But not 1.3, but now if I save 200,000 in taxes, I'm at 1.2. But I didn't lose
That money.
any money. I accumulated more assets.
100%.
My net worth grew.
Yeah.
Now what happens is not only is my net worth growing and I'm cash flowing, when other opportunities come about, because when you start making money, one thing we all know is when we make money, we say, this is just the recession proof mindset and how I think and teach and instill. Everybody's going to want something from you when you get money. Everybody asks you for something.
Yeah.
That's cool. Most people look and think, man, when I get money, I'm going to do all this for my family and give them everything. And so they can ask me for stuff because I know that what they need. Recession proof mindset is that if somebody needs something from me, I know people are going to need money when I get it.
Yeah.
The issue is I'm not looking at my family need money. I'm looking at business owners who need money. I'm looking at opportunities that this money can also get so my money can continuously work. Where can I invest? Who can I partner with? How can I leverage my money to get equity in somebody else's sweat? So now you've built this business and you like, yo, I partner with a jet brokering company and they go, yo, we need X amount to invest. Cool. That's why I built my net worth. I can go borrow collateral.
Leverage that.
I leverage my assets to borrow. My business still is running. It doesn't stop. But now I'm accumulating all these assets. So now I'll go do collateralized lending and just borrow against my asset and invest in another business. Guess what? Joe Blow, the first person, is already down to 200,000-300,000. I'm already at 1.4, 1.5 and continuously investing. When I invest in somebody else's business, guess what? The cash flow in real estate paying itself back. My business is also contributing to pay it back. I'm not basing my investment off if this investment performs or not. I'm basing it, okay, what's the potentials, but I can realistically let this investment live without living, dying. If it doesn't work, I'm SOL.
Yeah.
I put another measure in place to make sure I'm gonna cover back my investment on this chance that I took.
So it's like you're always insulated in a sense.
Insulated 3 or 4 ways. So my money is continuously working. Now I make the investment. Now the lending that I did, I pay it back off. I own my assets. I'm invested in the company and I saved on taxes. I won 4 ways, but I literally started leveraging somebody else's money. The issue with most people is they'll leverage somebody else's money, take the profit, spend it and blow it. And if this ever gets slow, if business ever gets slow where you was using somebody else's money to make money, you didn't accumulate other things to help
Supplement
keep
that
this
afloat. Yeah.
And that's just the mindset is that we got to win 3 or 4 different ways. So when I do something, the first way is just, if this works, let me triple down on it. So if it ever stops, I'm moving so much, the ship, I'll never feel it.
So to you, what's the most secure way to kind of keep yourself insulated? Like what vehicle do you use the most? Real estate?
Real estate is just the easiest way to park because it helps you with so much.
Okay.
Because it'll help you with your taxes, because it actually grows in value. So if I'm parking money there, the thing is that I realize and why I go and I'll do like collateralized lending. I know the interest rates isn't the best. I'm not the biggest real estate guy. I make mistakes and people teach me and help me all the time because I learned that getting the equity out your home is harder than getting the mortgage. So I'm like, yo, I need $1 million. And I'm like, yo, it took 60 days, 45 days. It's like 45 to 60 days.
They want
and I'm
everything. Blood sample, everything.
I'm like, yo, it was easier for me to get the mortgage.
Facts.
I can finance a $3 million property
Quicker.
It's like that.
I'm done in under 20 days.
Yeah.
I'm 60 days to get the check out of something I own.
From your own place, yeah.
And they ask for more details. They asking deep. And I said, yo, so that's when I just kind of learned about like doing the collateralized against it at a higher interest rate. But that's where I look at and I just go like, my equity is there. So in real estate, if I'm paying, and my numbers may be high for a lot of people based on my position. I just can't use an example of something that I'm not doing. Like, yo, buy a property for $25,000, $100,000. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like in real estate, I did $1 million, so I was buying $300,000-$400,000 properties, but I'm buying them cash.
Yeah.
The same rules apply, just apply it in the aspect of you may go buy a $25,000, $30,000 property. The same rules apply. I don't want people to listen and think like, yeah, well, you got money, you can go buy a $300,000 property and save. No, you can go buy a $30,000 property and do the same exact thing and grow at a exponential rate. As it grows, your money still increases.
100%. So one thing I want to talk about, and I see you online. I see you're a family man.
Yes.
I see, your wife, her 500.
Yes.
And I see she got the blue check also before you did. But but Instagram, they putting respect on your name right now. You just got the blue check, so I gotta salute you for that.
Yeah. What I had to pay for it. It's crazy. I should have been verified. That was crazy.
Yeah, but you verified in real life, so that's what matters.
Facts.
But my question to you is, talk to me about the importance of a power team and a power couple, because relationships are so important. And I'm around millionaires all the time, and one thing that I see is the most successful people that I know, they have a rock beside them. And I always see a lot of horror stories of man's losing half their net worth, man's paying alimony, child support, spousal support, this, that, the third, taking cash jobs to try to hide money from the government and this, that. Like, so talk to me about how important it is to, have that person in your life as that foundation.
It's a thing where I don't look at it as I got a person in my life as a part of my foundation. I look at it as that, with concrete, you got to mix it. Concrete started out as powder. We came together and created something together. So the thing that I have, this foundation, is something we built together. So I'm never worried. I don't got a prenup. I don't got a, if we split, spousal support, whatever, it don't matter. We built this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was there from the foundation. If anything went left and I had to split it 50-50, it ain't wrong. It's earned. We earned this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we earned this. So
she was with you shooting in the gym.
100%. So everything that we built, everything that we established together. And what I looked at is, early on, I looked at successful men. Like you said, a lot of men that I seen were successful were married. And I knew early on that I wanted to get married. Now, I had to figure out and discover what qualities and traits were needed. And those are things that I figured out along the way, of where my strong points were, where my weaknesses were, what my selfish requirements were, and what I was willing to give. And a lot of times, as a man, I had to realize, like, the things that my wife brought to the table were things that I didn't know. Her financial literacy was her discipline was farther ahead than mine. She was much more on point than me. I had all the game and knew everything, but she was so disciplined and accountable because how she was raised. So it's real important. I tell people all the time is that when you got to fight the world, you got to have a solid foundation at home. And I always say watches aren't expensive because of the material or how they look. It's the movement. And relationships, business, love, all of these things, companionship, all of these things is a part of our makeup of our livelihood, and they all must flow. They all must flow, and they all have to all equally flow and work smoothly. And the more operations that you can get to flow smooth, the more value you actually have in your life, the more valuable your life becomes. See, when you got your family running, you got your household running, your business, your family, your love, companionship, friendships, all of these things flowing smooth, then you look at the value that you hold to the world. And that's one of the things that I just always honed in on. It's like, I need everything flowing smoothly. And relationships, household, family is one. That's the first one. From there, I built all the others.
Realistically, you have to have things running smoothly for you to be able to function at a high level, right? If those things aren't running efficiently, then it's taking away from what you could potentially be doing, right? And we find ourselves finding distractions in all different places, whether it be social media, TV, or people, right? So it's having that efficiency allows you to operate and to accomplish what you have been able to accomplish, right?
100%. It's needed. But it's a lot of times it's overlooked, because as men, we think that we'll see men go through a divorce and we think that it's just them. But if it doesn't flow without this being a part of it, how great would you have been? When you look at a man, say he's married, he got a divorce, well, what would he have done if he was out chasing girls? what
he got.
lawsuits would he have had?
Yeah.
All these men you see out, sexual allegations because they got money and they dealing with so many different women. What things would have happened to not allow them to even reach that
Where they
pinnacle
got.
that they became to?
Facts.
And then we think, oh man, he lost that to a woman. Nah, he gained that. A lot of this because he avoided a lot of things having this foundation because most men's downfall is a woman.
Facts.
Once you get money, you can always make more money.
Facts.
You can't get back once you have a downfall that I love Mike Tyson to death, but it's forever on his record of a sexual assault. That's something that he has to always live with.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett says it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it.
Yep, 100%.
So when I read that, it hit me different, and it just made me think like 5 minutes to ruin something that takes me 20 years to build. I got to be calculated with every single step that I make because that one misstep
Can throw it all off.
can cost me my whole life.
That's the things that I think a lot of times people don't take into consideration. And especially when it comes into relationships and it comes to business. I've had moments where it'd be like, bam, hey, you shouldn't have did that. And it's like these things that you got to live with, you know, and that you learn to adjust to. And sometimes most people can't abstract the learning lesson out of things and mistakes that they make and realize that everybody's not out to get you. And if somebody can make a correction about you or identify something, then most people are comfortable around you. They won't critique you. The people who critique you are the ones who actually help you become better because they're sitting there to look and see any flaws that you have. Most people who love you won't critique you and tell you flaws that you have or identify it. So when you get things and you hit missteps, that's the opportunity for somebody to go, oh, this is what you should be doing better. Or this is what, some of it come with a grain of salt. Some of it you let go. But sometimes you look into it and you look and see, well, what can I do better? How can I improve? And go to the next level.
100%. One thing we were talking about off camera is about ATL, about Atlanta. And when I think about Black excellence, the only place in this world, on this whole globe that comes to my mind is Atlanta. I've been there one time and all the professionals that I saw, doctors, lawyers, mayors, politicians, everybody I saw was Black. Right. And one thing that I love about what you and EYL and the university and everything that you guys are doing is that you guys collaborate. And I think that as a Black community, a lot of us have that crab in the bucket mentality where it's, if I see somebody doing better than me, I got to pull them down. Oh, he got a Hurricane, I need the SVJ Aventador. You know what I'm saying? He got a Wraith, I need the Cully. You know what I'm saying? And it's in our minds that it's like, I can't see somebody do better than me that looks like me. And I think that obviously that's, you know, a lot of programming over hundreds of years that kind of makes us maybe hate ourselves or hate each other. But talk to me about like collaboration over competition and why you feel collaboration is so important.
My biggest thing is that with collaborating, you master something. I master what I master. I may go out and I've learned credit to cash. I've learned the credit system. I learned the banking system. And I've learned how to educate the masses and bring us together for education. At the same time, like a EYL has went and mastered media, educating the masses, becoming a voice and learning how to abstract information that's needed and becoming a household name. What happens is that you look and you say, does Him 500 have the capabilities to do the same thing? Can I look at their blueprint and do it? Yes. But if I do it, I have to take away from what I do. And I can't focus on what it is that I've been strong at. And a lot of times is that it's understanding and honing in on your strong points and understanding what you're strong at and respecting what other people are strong at and seeing how can we bridge a gap to be stronger together. How can we build Voltron and not, oh man, you got more, you get more views than me. People recognize you more than me. It's not about that. What happens is that you look at the overall mission of why you started. The overall mission of the economy, the culture, the community, what we do this for. If we stand in this financial literacy movement, this financial literacy fight as an individual, then we can't grow as a community. When you stand in this and you say, I'm willing to be selfless and do whatever it takes to push this movement, then you're willing to support anybody, and you should be willing to play any position and master your role and stay in your position and push the movement forward. And I think that's one thing that we're seeing now is you see a 19 Keys who has ran his race and built what he's built. You see an EYL built what they have built. M500 built what he has built. Ian has built what he has built. But everybody being able to stay, I'm not talking about stocks and trying to be Ian. I'm not trying to go launch a podcast. I'm not trying to speak righteousness like Keys. I'm speaking like him 500.
Yeah.
I talk credit, I talk cash, I talk business. Respectfully, we all have a position to play in this movement. And I'm thankful to have brothers that have a like mind and willingness to collaborate amongst each other and say, I'm staying in my lane, you stay in yours, and we got one mission. Let's go.
100%.
I think they say if you want to go far, you go alone.
You want to go fast, you
You want to go fast, you go alone.
You want to go far,
you want to go far, you go together.
We hope you guys are enjoying this episode. Don't forget
To click the link in our description for your free real estate investor guide.
All right, now back to the scheduled program.
Yeah.
100%.
So let's get into some numbers. So the private jet play, okay?
The private jet play.
The private jet play, that's what we're going to call it. Like,
right.
I've only been graced enough to be on a private jet a couple times. Okay. So it's not as readily available as it is in Atlanta or in, the entertainment side of North America. Because over here, everything's just bland. You just take commercial. You're lucky if you get an upgrade to first class. You know what I mean?
Business if you're lucky.
So break that play down to me, how you're able to leverage credit to accomplish that, and why that was such an attractive play for you and how it's been fruitful for you.
How much time we
You're
got?
smiling.
Listen, we got all the time in the world. No, I'm gonna be honest. Normally, our interviews are 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Gotcha.
And we do that because
Attention span.
that's it. You know what I'm saying? But for this interview here,
Wow, we're running.
there's no time limits because
Gotcha.
the people need to hear these gems.
So with the recession proof, I wish it was some elaborate, thought out plan. It really comes into the recession proof model that I always talk about is I got to benefit 3 or 4 different ways.
Okay.
It's just my makeup of how I operate, right? The private jet started, I was influenced by Meek Mill.
Okay.
Shout out to me.
On the PJ,
All the time, PJ Kev.
Million Cash,
Yeah.
PJ Kev, that's my guy. So,
Do you know Jets? You know Jets?
Jets.
Mr. Jetson.
Okay.
He
He's
rolls
like
with PJ.
yeah, he's like a
we met him
understudy.
when we were out in Dubai.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Nah. So I'm looking and I go, okay, I want to know what it feel like. I want to know what it feel like to get on a private jet. I hacked the private jet using like a membership. It was Jet Smarter back in the days. Had a membership. I was able to get on an empty leg for like $300-400.
Oh.
$7,000 for the membership, $300-400 to get an empty leg.
Sorry, pause for a second. Hold on. Time out on $300-400.
$7,000 for the membership.
No,
first.
I understand that, but no.
Yeah.
Forget the $7,000. You pay the $7,000 and you can get on a PJ for $300-400.
Yep.
Bro, I'm in economy squished up with my head in the window for 3-4 bills.
But
That's
it's
crazy.
an empty leg going wherever it's going.
Yeah.
So,
So you just have to be happy
you
to
got to
go
watch
there.
where it's at.
Yeah.
You
Got
just got to be willing to go.
Yeah.
Got you.
100% is willing to go. So I'm like, all right, what I looked at was like, where's the hubs? It was a hub in North Carolina. And from North Carolina, from Atlanta to North Carolina, I looked, it was like, well, it's always flights leaving out of here. Well, it's a 45-minute flight from Atlanta to North Carolina. $200. I said, okay, so I'm all in 500, depending on where the hell this jet going. So I said, all right, cool. Well, one flew from, I seen it, and one was flying, a private jet was leaving out of North Carolina. It flew to Teterboro, and then one plane was leaving out of White Plains, actually flying to Atlanta. I said, oh, I'm gone. I called my wife. I said, yo, I got to go by. She at work. I'm like, yo, pick the kids up. I'm leaving.
You're
It's
gone.
a jet. I got to go. I'm going to the airport. I remember my first time getting on a private jet. I just want to know what it felt like. I literally got on a private jet and flew by myself from North Carolina up to Teterboro. I'm like, yo, this is dope, right? I'm like, so, you selfies, taking
Yeah, of
pictures.
course,
I'm not creating content like this at this time. I get on to the next jet. I meet a guy who works at Forbes and a guy who works at Google, leaving out of New York. These dudes come with lobster because at this point it's empty seats. Well, they bought 2 seats. So it's 3 of us on this plane now. They come with their cameras. They come with lobster. They got champagne, whiskey, and we had a great time. We ended up building a relationship. But I started taking pictures. They helped me take pictures that day on the jet. Started taking pictures, marketing. Everybody like, yo, people start hitting me about getting on the jet. And I'm like, I was doing it for my own ego and bravado. I wanted to know what it felt like.
Yeah, but now you saw an opportunity spark.
So everybody's looking. I'm like, yo, wait, people really love jets and they can't get on them. They don't know how to just go do this. So I said, okay, seen it. Well, over time, I started taking people and my mentees out of my program on private jets with me, and I would expose them to it. Well, it started becoming a part of my brand. So instead of me doing the empty legs, I'm like, yo, I can't do empty legs. I got to book. So I built a relationship with an agency to actually book and broker me jets.
Okay.
They started teaching me how the game worked and how it worked. Because I'm like, yo, how can I get the best flight? Like if I could pay $300-$400 for an empty leg, but everybody don't want to give the membership up. Do y'all got access to empty legs? Like, yeah. I'm like, well, how much is it to book the jets? So I started learning the numbers. So I'm like, okay, how much y'all make? They started explaining. So I understand the margins. Cool.
So what are the margins like?
For the brokerage, it's not the greatest.
Okay.
You could make $3,000 a flight.
Okay.
When you booking it $2,500, $2,000. Sometimes you can lose money to acquire a customer. So sometimes to beat the customers out, the brokers are not always making $5,000. You're a broker, you're making $6,000 every time. No. Okay. You can lose money to acquire. Like if somebody wanted to get me to fly with them and want me to rep and use them because I'm booking 15, 20 jets a year, they may lose $5,000 to get me and say, yo, we got a jet. I need a jet coming from Canada to Atlanta. They may cut the price $5,000 so nobody else can get me. Because then if I come to them and they charge me at cost, they'll make their money back throughout the year.
Okay.
So I just started learning how they work. And I go, okay, cool. Well, once I learned how it worked, I'm like, yo, how can I make more money? I'm making money masterminds, getting people on the jet. I see y'all want to buy a jet. The company goes, okay, let's do it. We'll control the deal for you. And I'm like, y'all broker. How y'all want to broker my sales deal? Immediately I think about car salesman. How much is a commission on a car?
I sold cars for 10 years. So before I got into real estate, I had a car dealership for 10 years. So realistically, you don't make much. Like I was making anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 per transaction. On
what car price?
Anywhere from 10 to 50 G's. You only start making, like when you get into luxury cars, then you can start making, 5, 10, 15 grand a car.
We're talking about millions.
Yeah.
So commission on millions.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot.
I go. Yeah. So I was trying to figure out how I can get a piece of that.
Yeah.
We had a conversation and I'm like, well, if you guys are going to broker my jet, don't you get paid off this deal? Off selling me the plane. They're like, yeah, we get a commission. I'm like, okay. And they was like, we'll broker the jet for you. So we'll keep it busy. Then you're going to get another commission every time I book.
Every time you book, yeah.
But all my traffic is going to go where? Everybody who's coming through my website to book, if they don't book my plane, what are they going to do? You're going to book them another one, right?
Yeah.
I don't get paid off of that.
You don't get paid, yeah.
Your company grows by you booking more jets. I don't get paid off of that either. How much to have a part of your business? How much can I be investing in your business so as we do business together, I want to get paid as you grow? They was like, I'll call you back. Came back. This is what we can do. I said, okay, I'll invest in your business and I'll buy the jet through you. They actually gave me a royalty so I get paid off of everything that we gross. So I get paid off of gross, and I get paid off my sales, my link. So I get paid off my jet. I get paid off of whenever somebody book and use their service, and I get paid overall because I'm owner in the company. Cool. But now I bought the jet. When I bought the jet, I save on taxes. So that was the big thing. So saving on taxes, marketing. Him 500 buys a jet. Internet on fire.
Yeah.
So I bought a jet. Now I own a jet. Y'all buying cars, I'm buying jets. It's different.
It's different conversations.
So how did you buy the jet?
Cash.
You bought the jet cash.
Bought it cash.
How much was it?
Over $2 million. Let's just go.
Cash.
Yes.
Wow.
At the same time, I made an investment in a business. Cash. What happens is when you make money, you got to do something with it.
Yeah, you have to defer it. Yeah.
If you let cash sit,
inflation eats it up.
It's useless. And so, but is it the best way? I'm learning now. I'm gonna get to it on where I messed up at in this whole transaction. But I didn't know it's a learning curve. People can now learn from my mistakes. So I bought the jet. The jet helps me in taxes. Bought the jet cash. Boom. I didn't know. Well, I'm gonna go into it. Bought the jet cash and got equity in the business. The company that I invested in was worth $50 million at the time. The company is now worth $100 million. Based off of our relationship and my contributions and the reinvestment of money that they put into this business. So I got my stake at 50% off in the business.
Gotcha.
So my percentage, I bought in at 50% off. So I was already doubled. Then it doubled again. So I literally have had tremendous growth on my investment. So let's just say I was in at 2.5, it's now worth 10 million.
Gotcha, yeah, 4X.
Off of my initial investment. That was amazing. So now I go, we actually had an offer to buy the company at like 84 million, turned it down, we're trying to get to $1 billion evaluation. But I tell people that I bought the jet, I got a tax write-off. I also got brand equity, influence, my brand awareness. My businesses grew. Everything that I was doing grew. Plus, I leveraged that to get equity in somebody else's business. And the attention that came from it grew their business as well.
Also.
So I benefit like 4 ways. So it was a win.
So that one play had snowballing, cascading effects in all your businesses, everything you're involved in.
Everything.
That's
and
amazing.
not only that, you added immense value. And that's one thing that I see, especially, I don't know how it is in the States. I know you guys are getting to the bag, but a lot of influencers here in Canada, they have large followings, but don't know how to monetize it. They have 100, 200, 500,000 followers, and they still living at home with their parents.
It's because we don't have these business conversations. Like now I speak to athletes and rappers, and I tell them the last thing you want to be is just a broke ass nigga with money. Like, just because you got money does not mean that you're going to have it forever. When you have your influence, use your influence to get equity in other people's businesses. Don't use it for a bag. Don't let me give you 10,000 for you to do something for me. Let me give you equity.
Equity, yeah.
I did a deal with Gervonta Davis at the Gervonta Davis fight. On the Gervonta Davis fight, I paid like $50,000 to market on the side. And I said, look, my business at the time was doing $700 to M a month. I said, guess what? If you would have said, instead of giving me 50, give me 5%. And we'll market after and we'll let you do it for the next 2-3 fights.
That's like a 50-cent vitamin water deal.
I said, you would have had $50,000 a month, 2 years.
Yeah. But too many people are short-sighted and they just see I want that quick microwave bag, you know?
It's not guaranteed that the business performs.
Of course.
So that is an issue. But what happens is when we say influencers is that they are not looking at focusing on how to get the most and longevity and understanding business. That's why this podcast is so important. So they can learn how to get influence. They can learn about business because they're just learning social media. They didn't go through business and then say, I've learned business, mastered it, and I just happened to pop on social media. It was most likely, I just popped on social media. And
I know nothing
got
about business.
And now you're like, yo, you can make money off of it. And it's like, yeah, how?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't know money. I popped on social media because
Yeah.
this is a new way for us, and I was just being me.
Yeah.
I really got paid for being me. Like some people are just funny clown kids in school.
Yeah.
And they clown people on the internet, and they just funny
They
people,
just screw, yeah.
and everybody love them, and it goes boom,
Yeah.
and it blows. So now it's like, okay, well, when we start to understand the business, well, who can teach them? Where can they go learn from, and have these conversations where people can go, oh man, you got a big following, but you can do this. This is how you should probably structure your business and how you can make more money. Now the conversation is coming about where the creators are like, nah, I'm not doing a shout out for you. I got to get paid this much.
Of course.
Now they're getting a little more selective with things that they'll entertain, right?
Yes. So that's the key. But before we go, I don't want to lose my lesson and my mistake that I did make in the private jet. So I learned this and I talk about it. You see how you guys know, I bought the private jet. It saved me hundreds of thousands in taxes, the equities and businesses and the money I generated. Like my jet can make me $90,000 in a month, or I can lose $30,000, $40,000 in a month. What I learned is that the business that I invested in doesn't have any hard assets. We never lose. So I said, okay, well, this was good. And I said, yeah, man, I went from $2.5 million in this business to now with the evaluation, my net worth is up to 10 million.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's amazing.
Just on the business.
That's just on the business for the investment side. Until I start having conversations with people who are in VC, in venture capital, hedge fund, and they go,
That's cute.
that was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like that was too much money to put into it. You put too much money in, and you could have diversified out into small businesses at 10,000, 25,000, 5,000 here, 10, and diversified across 60 different businesses.
Companies, yeah.
And in 5 to 6 years, that 10 you might get, if you get lucky, basing on one, you may get, if you can get a 15 million, that would be excellent.
Yeah.
But on a 60 piece in 7 years, you guarantee you would have made 3, 4 over.
Because obviously the multiples in tech are exponential, right? It doesn't even compare to a brick or mortar or any other type of business.
And that's a tech business.
In tech, exactly.
But like, yo, you could have been in so many different ones.
Other businesses.
And I didn't see it. So I just looked and did 3 or 4 ways on my one stream.
Yeah.
But if I was familiar with how to really invest capital, like I said, sometimes I pop in business. I've always been in business, but does not mean I'm the best at business. Doesn't mean I'm at the highest level. So now I'm learning the highest level investment on how to use your money. I always came from OPM and used credit to generate capital, using somebody else's money. What to do with my money, I'm learning now. And so now I look and go, wait a minute, I should have diversified my investment like this. And they go, yeah. So now I have these conversations.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have these conversations if I didn't make the move.
Yeah.
Gotta make the move. Make the move to the best of your ability. Be thoughtful, be precise. After you make the move, other opportunities are gonna present themselves, and it only gets better.
So it's highest and best use of your money. That's what's most important.
Yeah.
I saw on your page you were talking about courses and how like you built your brand, and then you started your first course, and then you sold it, and then you made like 50 grand or something. Like break down like brand building courses, and like at what point is someone ready to sell a course?
Sell a course. One thing about it is that I feel like a lot of people run and want to sell a course without any prerequisites or pre-notions. They just do it for the money. I didn't start selling courses for money. I started selling courses for brotherhood and partnerships. I was looking for 10 people to help them get $1 million in lines of credit. If I can get 10 people to get $1 million in lines of credit, we got 10 million. If I was able to get $1 million, so I know how to help you get it. But I said, you know what? I guarantee I can get them 100,000. If we got $1 million collectively together, we up.
Now what can you do with it?
We can go do a lot if we got $1 million. So I said, well, give me $1,000, I'll train you. I take 10 people. So I said, bet. I said, is it worth my time? At $1,000 a pop, it's $10,000. It's worth my time. Now we got a hub, we got everything together, we built. I offered it to 10 people. 15, 20, like, yo, I'm ready. First 10 I took, I did it, I'm going through the calls. And I remember just putting it on social media, just showing like we on a call. They're like, yo, this is crazy. Yo, I went and got 20,000. Well, my DM started going crazy. Like, yo, dude, like, bro, can we do it again? It was a 4-week program. I had it laid out. I'm just doing it for 4 weeks, but it was like, we gonna do it for a year. Let's build. I made 10,000. I'm like, yo, what I realized is that everybody doesn't execute and everybody's not on the same page. So I may have had 2 or 3 people who was ready to really go and run. Some of them still needed more help. So it's like, oh, this is gonna be more of a process.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we bring some more people in, we'll be stronger together.
Yeah.
You know, we can do it. It's gonna be 25, 30 of us. It might end up being 50 of us. Now I'm like, yo, if we can get $5, $10 million, oh, it's up.
Yeah.
We can go
A lot of
build
damage you can do.
We're
with
gonna
that.
build a skyscraper.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, yo, it started growing. And I'm like, wait a minute, the demand never stopped. And we started building together. And then when I did the second class, the people from the first class was helping the first
The new
class.
students, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so we created a Facebook group. That just kind of created and grew. But I had already established so much when it comes to credit. I had already built the home. I had already owned my own home. I had, had cars out. So I'm like, I'm doing well. Not saying I was a multi-millionaire, but I had over $1 million in access and lines of credit. And I was able to generate over $250,000 a year. I didn't know my ability to teach and the care. And I think that's what everybody who's been around me and been with me was like, yo, your ability to teach and how you make this simple for us is the dopest.
That's the value.
And then bringing us together with just who I am, coming together, we would hang out. We would go to dinner together. We was just like, I was really trying to build a brotherhood. Like, let's lock in.
A real community.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was building a gang. Like, this is my troops. This is us. Like, if I got my dogs, if I could build 10 dogs, it's on. That's all I thought about. It built bigger. So now when I see, like, everybody says, yo, I want to create a course, it's just for the money. I did make a lot of money. It became a business. Education is a business. I didn't start it to learn this business.
Gotcha.
Now I realized, and I created it into a business, and then because I started realizing everything that was needed. So I adapted and started conforming what I changed my motto to, like, let me conform to what my members need. Oh, they need help generating more capital. Because, one thing about it, I tell people, debt isn't for dummies. Just because you get access to capital don't mean that you can go into debt. You have to be able to generate income. If I can't help you generate income and I help you get credit, I'm hurting you.
Oh, for sure.
So I have to help you and make sure you can generate capital off of it. Make sure you're not getting killed by interest, making sure that you understand all of the benefits and perks and you have the tools, resources to extract that. That's what I started doing. So as people will come into my community, it's just going crazy because they going getting access to capital, but I'm teaching them ways to make money. So now it's like, oh, it started growing. Now the demand created. So my thing is I tell people is that when you want to create a course, understand that my initial plan it stopped. I had to be responsible for my members. I had to stop what my initial goal, like, let's partner. No, I had to just start creating other leaders. I had to start creating other powerhouses and creating other unities that I wanted to create. My groups and people partnering together and going, and they doing $1 million deals and doing things like that. And I can't be a part because I'm housing and facilitating all the other members to, like, give this opportunity to our community. So when people say, yo, I want to start a course, just understand that you're responsible for people, that you no longer get to do what you love. I love hustling. I love working. I love grinding. It's like, you see, I'm passionate about the jets and the moves. I like business.
It's not work.
No, but when you start connecting with people and you build a community, I see a lot of people get burnout and they'll sell a course, but they don't have anything to service the people. You just did it for money.
Yeah.
That's not good. Yeah, your information may be true, but they need community. They need camaraderie. They need, unity and
mentorship.
Boom, in all aspects of not just on this business topic, but can we sit down and have a conversation about mental health? Can you talk to us about family? Like, what's your marriage like? Like, men sit and ask my wife, like, why do you deal with him? I can't get my wife to understand what I'm doing. How do you accept him going out on the road and him being out doing conferences and being all over social media? Like, what made you accept entrepreneurship? And she like, he made me accept entrepreneurship. He made me comfortable. He made me comfortable in my role, in my position, to where I'm happy. And I understood it. That's how he got me to do it. But most of the time we think, oh yeah, I'm gonna just teach Airbnb and I'm gonna sell some money. But the home is the aspect of it. So these are things that now I looked into and I go, with the women of Recession Proof, a lot of them just want a safe place for women to talk. Don't have men in here judging or having men dominate the conversation. They just need a safe place to talk and be women.
Yeah.
Don't be judged.
Yeah.
Don't have the cattiness amongst women. So the course and what we need is that we need information, but we need communities.
Yeah.
And that's what, I stumbled into. It wasn't, I'm a genius. No, I'm an average guy. I just led with my heart. I did what I felt was right. And this is how.
It's crazy because we were having a conversation with Rashad at dinner, and he was telling us that like not everybody even finishes courses, but he said the value that you guys are creating is the community. Like people want and need a place to belong, a place where they can bounce ideas off of each other. And at the end of the day, iron sharpens iron, right? So if I can lean on my brother from wherever he is in the world, and I know he's going through something similar, and I can get something out of it or some gems, that's worth it for me. So I will be a part of this because of the access, right? And the motivation I get from all angles.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing, is that to become successful, it's not always about the goal or task of making money. It's a lot of other things that come into play that helps me become successful, that helps him 500 become him 500. It's not just, oh yeah, I went out and I did a deal. No, it's the relationships I built. It's some of the experiences. Coming to Canada, this is an experience.
Of course.
This is things that will help take it to the next level. This is this is the first stop on my map of going global and taking the university global. Is the first stop is Canada. This is our first international expansion.
And listen, we're doing so much. And listen, one question I want to ask you. So when I was in New York, I went to Carnegie Hall a month ago for the EYL event, and I connected with MG, and we did his podcast. And one of the things I was telling him is like, I don't want to make 100 M's. I want to create 100 millionaires. Okay. And reading your bio, I see you help 2,500 people retire.
Yeah.
And you have 30 plus millionaires, mentees that you've created.
Yes.
That is so powerful.
Insane.
You know what I'm saying? We're talking about generational wealth that you've sparked.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. How are these people, 30 plus people, how have they built this wealth? Is it through real estate? Is it through stocks? Is it through crypto? Like, how did you do that?
So the crazy thing is everybody's different. No two people have done it the same. You got people in the credit space. You got people in education. I got people in stocks, investing. I got people in real estate. And so what we look at is that sometimes one of my guys, I use Workout Landlord as an example, is Workout had a few rental properties. And he was like, bro, I never knew I had the properties. I couldn't get the money out of them. I would buy a property and have it, but I couldn't get the money. I didn't understand credit. I didn't understand how to get my credit profile up. So he builds his credit up, get access to it, then learns he ends up being able to pull money out of his properties, being able to turn his credit into cash and refi and pull it out and then make it work for him. Takes off. He like, nah. Started more businesses. He started like 2 different companies because then now, okay, I got capital. I can help people on this education side. I can help people on becoming a contractor. I can do all of these things and start just looking at the business model. Takes off, and you look up and you go like, yo, bro, I did 1.2 last year. And I'm like,
Houseway.
and I'm like, I didn't help you become a millionaire by you helped you. I just provided information.
And you gave them the mindset, but they applied it.
And the possibilities when you're around people and you just want to be like, I would have a conversation with him, and I remember me and him riding, and he was just talking about how he was going to propose, how he was going to, propose to his wife and get married. Then I look up and he got I put him on a private jet for the first time. I look up a year and a half later, he got his mentees and people that he's training. He got kids 18 to 21 buying real estate deals, and he's putting them on a private jet for the first time. And you look at the snowball effect. Like, I'm not happy and proud about just helping somebody become a millionaire. I look and I'm proud because of the effect that they have.
And the impact.
And now you look up and his demographic and people that he helps. The goal is each one teach one. We always say it, but we don't realize that I may have helped 30 people reach millionaire status, but the amount of people that they help in that reach and how far that web spreads is it's something that we're gonna have to look back and document and look at that, how many people were touched and how many lives were affected. Because one person may make $1 million. How many people do they help feed? How many people do they employ? That's what really changed it.
So powerful, bro. Because I know a lot of people just think about themselves and I want to be a billionaire and I want this and I want that. But at the end of the day, I always say, when I'm dead and gone, nobody's going to remember my net worth. Nobody's going to remember how much money I had, what kind of cars I was driving. But what they will remember is the lives that I've impacted and the people that I've touched. And now that's going to spark a fire. You know what I'm saying? And I remember even watching the Tupac interview, and he was just talking about all he wants to do is just inspire one person. He wants to spark a fire with one person. And if he does that, then he feels like, his life would have been a success. One question, last, I know we got to wrap up. I know we got the show coming soon. I know we got to get ready for the second show. It's going to be crazy. I just lost like 122 pounds now in the past 16 months. I've been following you for a while. And you look a lot different in person than you did 2-3 years ago on IG. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You slim now, but I know your pocket's still fat. So talk to me. How was that journey and like the mindset? Because I know for me, bro, it was tough, you know, and just the mindset, the consistency, eating patterns, and it's not even like a diet, but it's a whole lifestyle change. Tell me about that journey, why it was so important for you to, switch things up, and like how that process was.
So why it was important for me was, I tell people all the time, I get on here, I talk about financial literacy, I talk about business. That's my call. Like, that's what I get on social media to do. A lot of people ask, like, yo, why you don't talk about it? Why you don't show this? Or why you don't? And I tell people is that I didn't do it for the public. I realistically did it for my family. I did it for myself, for my kids. Like, I was sleeping with like a CPAP. You know what I'm saying? Like, other little health issues and things that come about that I'm gonna really talk about in depth later. But it was deeper than social media. I didn't know it would be this drastic and this many people would be like, yo. And I'm like, this is becoming like an elephant in the room. This has consumed like my whole brand and identity is not, they be like, yo, forget that credit. Yo, all that money talk, that's cool. What's up with this health, bro? And I be like, yo, I remembered I was like, yo, I'm not, I said on, I'm proud of David Shands, I said, I didn't do this for the public. So when people ask, I'm like, I didn't do it for y'all. I didn't do it to come and be like, yo, let me give you my resume, or yo, let me talk about it. I did it for myself. I felt like there's so many people out here who train on health and fitness and things like that. Like, why wouldn't, if you serious and this is what you want, you go there. And then I had to get a reality check of, no, that's cool. We look at you as a human. We respect you as a human. And we see your journey and we want to know because we respect you. And that's the hardest thing for me, that I'd be like, damn, maybe I should have documented it, more in depth. But it realistically is that making money is cool, but I feel better. Like, how you enjoy life the ability, like I wasn't able to get on roller coasters with my kids. You know what I'm saying? I was 350 plus pounds.
Me too.
And so it was uncomfortable. Now what I look at is that it is a whole nother lifestyle. And then you gotta adjust so many adjustments and things that you don't take into play. Like for me, my biggest adjustment be like getting dressed. My
Everything
style has
fits
to
different.
change.
Yeah.
Swag different.
Big boy fly and slim fly is different.
Bro, I couldn't even fit into clothes. I'd be going to whole Renfrew, I've been going to designer, and like the 2XL just wasn't cutting it no more. And it came to the point where it was just like, I'm like, I don't even care no more. You know what I'm saying? Because like the big and tall shops, they ain't swaggy, bro. You know what I'm saying? They ain't swaggy,
And
B.
you gotta try to get everything custom, or you gotta get it tailored.
Yeah.
And you gotta get it tapered down. The jeans, it's like, man, what is this? And it's like, it don't work. And that's, you know, I knew I had a problem because I know what designers big boys could wear. You know, we got Givenchy, Burberry.
This guy loves Burberry. He loves Burberry.
But that's all I could fit into. You have to understand.
that's what they-
It wasn't even that I loved Burberry.
But they made clothes that could fit
Louis, Gucci, there were certain brands that like
Yep.
the biggest size just I couldn't fit. I was
Louis was the
356 pounds. You know what I'm saying? 16 months ago. I'm
Congrats.
240 and change now. You know what I'm saying? My goal is to get down to 2 bills, and you know we start to bulk up from there. You know.
Yep, that's where I'm at now. I'm on the bulking stage, but like you said, the Louis, it wasn't cutting it for us until as of like recently they started making them bigger, different sizes, the oversized stuff started
fits,
coming in. So they started making stuff that, you know, we can wear. But that was my biggest thing now is like learning and making all the adjustments. But essentially it's for life. Like it's realistically, like I tell people, it's things out there like superhuman protocol. I spend money and did things that everybody ain't gonna do. I got chefs, nutritionists, doctors, superhuman protocol systems with infrared oxygen tanks that just help me oxygenate my blood and things that I do that's super expensive. And so at one point I was like, last year, you know, talk about it. And I'm like, I don't think what I do is something that's duplicatable, and I don't want to act like it is for the sake of marketing. Like you can monetize it. I'm like, I could, but you ain't gonna go spend $250,000, 6 figures.
Yeah.
Most average person's not.
Yeah.
For sure.
It would kind of be oxymoronish, like a reverse effect. Like, man, you tell us something, we ain't gonna do all that.
Yeah.
And now I'm out here wasting my time, my breath for no reason.
Yeah.
But it is things now I'm learning. I'm just like, it's some things that I do need to speak on and kind of inspire people when it comes to the choices and things that I did, like cutting out red meat, alcohol, drinking, sleep. So many things play a part that you don't think about. Going to sleep at certain times, not just getting a certain amount of time of sleep. Certain times actually matter. Understanding your blood type, understanding what foods work in your system, what foods don't, understanding what causes the inflammation for you to get fat. Like understanding it, understanding your metabolism, understanding how often, like now weekly, I do in-body scans to know what percentage of body fat I got, what percentage of muscle mass I have, what's my weight, and so what's my skeletal weight, knowing, okay, if I eat certain calories and get X amount of walk and steps in every single day, what percentage of my body fat goes down, and then what actually helps increase my muscle mass. And my muscle mass is dropping drastically, and I'm like, okay, I don't eat red meat and I'm heavy on protein, but I'm doing plant-based protein. I did steaks, and if I include red meat back into it, my muscle mass went up. And I go, damn, but I don't want to eat it, but I'm thinking mentally, all the the cons. But then I started looking at the pros. So you got to know which one service you best and really go into a scientific to where it has consumed my life. Like, and I'm like, this is like a whole nother world. I think finances and business is a world. Health is a whole nother world.
100%.
Nutrition's crazy.
100%.
And it's like, it's consuming.
Yeah.
If you're not consumed, like, if you can't focus on making money, some people just have natural good metabolism.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
The ability to focus on something is the most important factor I could tell people about weight. Like if you can focus on finances and you can focus on building a business, then you just have to realize like you got to focus on the other things. It's other things and you just have to make it a part of life.
Yeah.
You realistically have to make it a part of life. You have to learn it one time. It may take 6 months. It may take a year to learn it.
Yeah.
Once you understand it, you learn it, you incorporate it, you make it a part of your life. You may slip, you may have mistakes. Nobody's ever perfect, but just incorporate it, make it a part of life. The same way we
100%.
do with learning business and everything else.
You got it. All right, listen, we got to wrap up right now. So the last question I have, I need you to cap it at 30 seconds, all right?
Let's go.
Our podcast is Millennials to Millionaires.
Okay.
So we are inspiring millennials to get to the M's, to get to the bag.
Okay.
In 30 seconds, what is one tip that you would like to give to the audience in terms of how they can get to millions and how they could be successful?
In 2023, your fastest way to get to millions is going to be, if you come from nothing, I come from nothing. I'm going to figure out a way to get access to capital, whether it's somebody else's capital, whether it's equity, social capital, or actual physical capital. I don't care if it's somebody else's brand, somebody else's audience. I'm on your podcast. I get access to your audience now. That's capital. You have to figure out how to get access to capital. I leverage other people's money and credit. Leverage that, figure out a way to generate capital. Once you can generate actual capital from other people's audiences or other people's information, other people's money, you figure out a way to become profitable. You figure out a way to make money. I don't care if you're selling digital products. I don't care if you sell physical products. I don't care if you sell somebody else's products and become the master affiliate. Create capital. Once you start to generate income, you cannot spend it. Use your money to make it work 3 or 4 times. Figure out the best ways to make your money in your wheelhouse. It will always improve. Your investment opportunities will improve. Don't focus on your bank account. Focus on your net worth. Only acquire things and assets that attribute to your net worth. Acquire physical assets or equity in business that is going to contribute to your net worth. Grow your net worth. As long as you grow your net worth can sit in an investment portfolio in the stock market. It can sit in life insurance. It can sit in businesses, but your net worth grows. You can always borrow against that later. But if you focus on growing your net worth from nothing with using other people's audiences, other people's money, once it grows, take that and just focus on your net worth. Don't focus on your bank account thinking I got to be a millionaire liquid or I have to have $1 million cash. That's the hardest way to get it. Easiest way to get it is in portfolios and always growing your net worth, figuring out how to leverage that to stack, and stack it on top of each other. And if you're really going to do it quicker, you're going to learn how to generate capital. You learn how to put money in real estate. You learn how to put money in insurance. You learn how to put money into the stock market appropriately, diversify there, and you grow it and take it to the next level.
Say no more. Done. Too many gems for this, bro. We got to have a part 2. I might have to come to ATL, come see you.
Yeah, we'll fly.
Yeah, we gonna get it on and popping. I appreciate your time. We got to get ready for the show right now. But listen, man, you dropped way too many gems today. And I hope that our audience can, take these things, apply it to their life, and, be able to level up. So thank you for your time, Mr. 500. It's love and blessings. And this is another episode of Millennials to Millionaires. Thanks for tuning in.
Appreciate it.
All right. We hope you guys enjoyed this amazing episode of Millennials to Millionaires.
Don't forget to click the link in the description to claim your free real estate investor guide.
This is something that's amazing for anyone to have if you're planning on getting into the market. This is something that you don't want to miss out on. Click the link below.
It's free.